Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Lisa Richardson with South Coastal FCA, and today we're coming to you from right here at the WHHI studios to talk about the local athletics and a little insight on inside the high school sports. Joining us first is our guest, Kenny Conroy. He is the athletic director at the Hilton Head Island Christian Academy. Our next guests are Brett Macy and Reggie Fields, athletic directors at May River High School and Bluffton High School. And our third guest is Coach BJ Payne of the Hilton Head Island High School Seahawks. So stay right here and join us for another episode of 843 TV, where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV. Joining us now, our first guest is Kenny Conroy. He is the athletic director at Hilton Head Christian Academy and also the head girls varsity basketball coach, and a very good one, I might add. Welcome, Kenny.
Thank you.
Kenny, let's talk about this winter season is wrapping up. You being a basketball coach, tell us about how everything is going so far at Christian Academy.
Things are faring well right now. The boys varsity, which has struggled with some injuries all year long, has come along pretty well in region play. They're hovering at around 500 right now, and are in third place in the region. And if they finish the way they should be able to make the playoffs. The girls team are doing very well. They're sitting at 17-2. Undefeated in the region. They're led by Presbyterian signee Macy Tamminen. Have a couple young girls, Jossie Frazier and Brielle McCarthy, who are playing very well. And things are looking very positive for making a good run at the state championship. Again.
Let's talk about spring is here. Practices have started, tryouts are underway. Tell us about what's ahead for spring.
Spring sports have started. Of course, our golf team will be very strong this year, returning pretty much all their players other than their number 1 and 2. Tennis will fare well this year as well with some young kids playing tennis out there. The soccer teams will be strong this year. We're running on skeleton crews with them right now because most of the girls play basketball and most of the boys play basketball. So we're hovering with small numbers out there right now. And our baseball team should be fairly well, returning all the players from the baseball team this upcoming year. So we're looking forward to an exciting spring on campus.
Well, we have heard in the news that Christian Academy will be moving, but we're going to get to that in a second. But I understand you also have some new changes for next year, school year, in the athletics. Tell us about those.
Yes, we're looking at realigning some things in our athletic program for the upcoming year. We've taken Mac Tamminen, who's our boys varsity basketball coach this year, and he's going to be helping me out in more of an active role as like the middle school athletic director or the assistant athletic director on campus. As we try to grow our middle school athletics, we've run into a problem where the numbers have gotten a lot larger, and which means we're going to have to formulate more teams. And it's tough being 2 places at one time, so Mac will be able to take that role over well, and he pretty much does it right now anyway, so it's a good experience for him to get in the administrative side at the school.
Now on the football front, new head coach coming in?
Yes, we've made some changes with football for this upcoming year. Matt Smith has stepped down as the football coach. Ron Peduzzi, who runs our weight training room and weight training classes, will take over the football program. Ron has been at the school now for 2 years, coming over with 10 years of varsity head coaching experience and coaching at some college levels. So we're excited about the changes that we're going to make at the varsity level for football.
And Matt will be taking on a new role?
Matt will be the athletic chaplain at the school. He'll be basically working with these student athletes and the coaches and mentoring them in their walk with Christ. And Matt, that's one of Matt's passion. He heads up our FCA, and he's very excited about the new role that he's going to take on.
I couldn't think of a better person for that from what I know about Matt. And obviously Christian Academy is a focus on not just athletics, not education, but the spiritual element. So that, to me, sounds like you're going to take it a step further, having Matt in that role.
Yes, Matt's going to be hands-on with the coaches, and doing some of the things that that the FCA, that you all do with coming over and leading our coaches' Bible studies. Matt's going to have a more active role with a lot of our coaches being in-house teachers. We have a lot of times where we can't get together as a group, where Matt will be able to meet with each of them individually and meet with some players individually during lunch times and break periods where he can actually do his work.
Big news, in a few years, Christian Academy is moving out to Bluffton. As a matter of fact, from what I understand, the campus location will be a stone's throw from Bluffton High School, right there, and right next to Low Country Church. How do you anticipate this new campus, this new building, will change the dynamic of the athletic opportunities there?
Well, we hope that our athletic program is going to grow while it's on Hilton Head as well, while we're still there. And we think that reaching out to the Bluffton area, where about 60% of our enrollment comes from now, is going to be a great enhancement in the future. As we look out to there, and when time comes and it moves that way, we believe with the campus, which is going to be twice the size of our campus now, and the state-of-the-art academic part that we have coming in, I think it's going to be an exciting time for Hilton Head Christian Academy.
Sure. And what do you hope to see happen besides that with basketball, with sports? Do you expect to add any sports that you may not have now?
I'm sure it's, with being a small school, adding sports and sports not being in the field teams, we hope that our track program will come back and arise, because we'll actually have a track there, and it's always difficult to have a track program when you don't have a track. But we hope that cross country will keep growing, and some of our smaller sports will add on. We'll have a couple fields out there, so the opportunity for lacrosse in the future is definitely there, and of course it's all going to help with the growth of our enrollment.
Sure. Sounds like some exciting things coming up next year and certainly in the future. And Kenny, good luck to you as you close out your girls basketball season. And thank you for all you do at the school and for your time today. And stay right here. We'll be back with more 843 TV. Welcome back to 843 TV. Joining us now are two athletic directors, Coach Reggie Fields, Athletic Director at Bluffton High School, and Coach Brett Macy, Athletic Director at the new May River High School. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome. Thank you.
Nice to have you both together this morning. Now, it's been a transition year in Bluffton with the addition of the second high school at May River. Also in your roles personally, as Brett's your first year as an athletic director, Reggie, your first year here in Bluffton. So let's talk about some things, how it's been going. Brett, we'll start with you. As you were hired for May River and you had the responsibility of getting your coaching staff lined up, tell us what your criteria was.
Well, it was a big task. Obviously, we had to hire everyone, but we wanted guys or girls who could build a program and wanted to build a program. They had to start everything from scratch, so that was important. We wanted coaches to look out for the best interests of the kids, work them hard on and off the field, in the classroom, within our community. So really those were the two main things. Obviously each sport had something different, but being a program builder and looking out for the best interests of our kids were the two main factors.
So you quite an important role to fill in your situation. So Reggie, it's your first year not only here at Bluffton, but also in a new state, coming from North Carolina. How are things going with you?
I think they're going pretty well down here in the Low Country. Nobody has run me off yet, but it's just been a good adjustment. Meeting new people, learning new concepts of how things are done in terms of eligibility, which kids are allowed to participate at the high school level. So it's been a great learning environment for me.
Had to learn some new rules as far as the high school league goes in particular.
Especially with the middle schoolers being able to participate in high school athletics, being able to practice on Sundays. Those kinds of things just didn't happen in North Carolina. So, but I'm really loving it because, again, we got a great staff on board that's kind of been helping me adjust to the rules and making sure that we enforce the rules the right way.
Now, certainly there's been some challenges that had to come along. Would you like to share any of those, Brett?
Well, really getting everyone up and running. Each sport has nothing from the beginning. You don't want to forget something. Kind of echo Coach Fields' sentiment about eligibility. We have well over 200 athletes here in the spring and getting all of them on the eligibility list, making sure they're good to go GPA-wise and everything they need to do to be able to play sports in South Carolina. Those two have probably been the biggest challenges I've had.
What about your vision for May River student athletes?
Well, really, we're trying to create a holistic student athlete, one that does their business in the classroom, works hard, gets their assignments in on time. They're a face in the community. They're helping within our community, and then athletically, doing what they do best, and that's working hard. We don't want just good students, or we don't want just good athletes. I think at Bluffton and May River, we want to have good student athletes and holistic kids. When they go out in the community, they help our community.
Absolutely. Spring season is coming. We're wrapping up the winter. Basketball's been quite a season. We've had some interesting games between the two schools for sure. But as we look to spring, tell us about how things are lining up at May River.
Well, we're going to offer every sport that the high school league has. That goes boys and girls lacrosse, boys and girls soccer, track and field, baseball, softball, tennis, and golf. Our goals will be the same. Those coaches to lay the foundation in their first year and build off of that, and then also to make the playoffs. Knock on wood, but every sport so far has made the playoffs, and that may seem trivial, but it's an important step in the right direction and getting that experience for the young kids, in the playoffs and kind of stepping up their game once they get there.
Sure, and imagine the spirit and the team unity and the student body that it builds is really great. As far as the school spirit out there has been, from what I've seen, has been pretty cool for his first year. What about you, Reggie? How are things looking for spring?
I really love the dynamics, just like kind of what Brett was saying. All the kids know each other. The community is very small and tight, so it's just been really a marvel to watch. The competition between us and May River. Just like Brett, I had to hire a few new coaches. We got a new golf coach for our boys, Justin Robinson. We have 2 new lacrosse coaches. Ashley Snyder is our girls coach, and Brian Arpaio was promoted from assistant coach to head coach. Our problem over at Bluffton is actually real estate, and we're trying to make sure that we balance the practice times and all the other things that go along with spring sports, as we have like 4 different sports that are trying to vie for a very small portion of real estate over at Bluffton High School.
Because you also working with McCracken, which is right on campus, and their needs too now that they
have
no
full
fields.
Sports. They absolutely have no fields, so we have to really coordinate our efforts to make sure that people get a fair opportunity to try out and to compete.
The May River School obviously is brand new. It's beautiful. Everything's nice and shiny. What about the athletic facilities on the outside? How are those looking for spring?
They're good. Baseball and softball sit together, very similar to how Bluffton's set up. As you move closer to the building itself, the main stadium's there for soccer and lacrosse, football and track. We have a nice field house there for half times, which I know the coaches like. Our practice fields are just north of the building. We have 2 practice fields. One can be converted into a game field for soccer, so that's helped the coaches out as spring sports has started. And inside we have our gyms, weight room, and wrestling room. So the facilities are nice. I think the coaches appreciate it, and it's our job to keep them nice.
Sure, of course. Now, a big thing with the Beaufort County School District is the option for school choice. How has that affected the athletic programs? We'll start with you at May River. What have you experienced?
Well, obviously I'm learning, Reggie's learning too, with the school choice as it's pretty new, and then obviously with Bluffton and May River being so close, it's become an issue. I think it's important for everyone to know that choice is not an athletic program. You can't choose to go to Bluffton to play football. You can't choose to go to May River to play soccer. It's all academic oriented. Bluffton has tremendous classes you can take. May River offers different classes, and if a kid choices into one or the other schools, then athletically the high school league can make them eligible, but it can't be an athletic decision.
Of course not, of course. Any thoughts on you?
I just have to echo what Brett said. I mean, we really have to focus on school of choice as a community learning tool for everybody to be fairly represented.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, thank you both for sharing, and best to you in your second semester of your first year at your new roles. And so we'll stay right here, and you all stay with us, and we'll be back for more 843 TV. Welcome back to 843 TV. Joining us now is BJ Payne. He is head coach of the Hilton Head Island High School Seahawks. in his 5th year. Welcome, BJ.
Thank you for having me.
BJ, you have recently nominated or were awarded Coach of the Year by the Carolina Panthers, which is an awesome award. As a result, you got to go to the Pro Bowl. That had to be really awesome. Tell us about that experience.
It was a great experience. I was down there for 3 days, getting a chance to watch the Pro Bowl players and watch practice and the game, and then be around some of the best high school coaches in the country. I was joking with Joe Mominier and saying I'm the only guy who probably was there who has not won a state championship and might never will. And there were guys there who have won 5, 10 state championships, and having the opportunity to speak with them and learn from them some different ideas that they have with their program, both X's and O's and more importantly off the field, I thought was a great experience. So, you know, thank you to the Carolina Panthers and the NFL. It was an amazing experience, first class all the way.
Tell us about some of the NFL players you saw.
It was kind of neat the way they did it. They set up different luncheons and stuff like that. And I had an opportunity to speak with Greg Olson for the Panthers, being their representative, and then also meeting Richard Sherman, which, you know, getting a chance to watch him play all the time. And then the greatest of all time, Charles Woodson, you know, had the opportunity to meet him. And then obviously seeing some guys in the past who I've had the opportunity to work with one-on-one, like Ezekiel Elliott, was a great experience overall.
So you mentioned some things that were positives. As far as your role as a coach, what have you gained from getting the opportunity to talk with some of these players and coaches?
I just think, you know, some of the different things that they do within their program that were different. Bonded with a couple guys specifically, you know, a coach from New Orleans, coach from Kansas City, and seeing some things that they do, you know, within their program. It was really neat actually getting a chance to speak with the coach from New Orleans because they went through Katrina and us recently going through Hurricane
Sure.
Matthew, and some of the things, and obviously, you know, there were two different things to the variances of what happened to each community, you know, with those hurricanes. But, you know, hearing some of the things that they did and sharing some of the things that we did, I thought was a great experience.
Coach, you had a couple of your players in the last couple of days commit to play further into college. Can you tell us about that?
We did. We had basically 6 guys, even though one guy went mid-year. Tyler Hamilton went to Purdue at mid-year. Bryce Singleton signed with FIU. He ended up with about 15 offers and chose Florida International. Fell in love with the school, the coaching staff, and fell in love with Miami, which I always say, who doesn't? And then we had Harvey King went on to Savannah State University. And then we had 3 young men go to Limestone, Pug Robinson, Jose Guyton, and PJ Franklin. We still have 2 more players that are still making their decisions on where they're going to go. So it's the largest group we've had of football players to sign on sign day with 6, and here within the next couple of weeks we'll be up to 8. So extremely proud of those guys for taking care of their work in the classroom as well as on the field.
And besides this group that are just coming through, in your past few seasons, you've had plenty of other guys go on to collegiate sports, which is really a great thing. What is it about what you're doing on your program that is helping that happen?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the exposure that we give kids, getting them out to different camps and combines, as well as, you know, making them understand the importance of their academics. Because at the end of the day, if they don't take care of the academic piece, they're not going to have the opportunity no matter how talented they are. Getting kids to understand that there's 2,000 of them in the country. Now, 1,900 of them might not have the grades, but there's 2,000 of them in the country. There's fast kids everywhere, there's big kids everywhere, there's athletic kids everywhere. So getting them to understand that and getting them exposure, and you know, our guys have done a great job, which helps our younger kids. They go to college, and not only do they go to college, but they're successful both on the field and in the classroom. Every guy that we have that's playing college ball right now has over a 3.0 in college. Most of them are making the dean's list or the you know, the honor roll of their conference. Like Puno Ford made the dean's list for the Big 12 athletic conference, as well as being an all Big 12 performer. Those things really help, and like Michael Julian graduated in 3.5 years. So college coaches know when they recruit our guys, they're going to come there and be successful both on the field and in the classroom.
And it's also important too, as they think of making the jump to the next level of the NFL, the percentage is so small that they take care of their stuff in the classroom, so when they get out to the real world and have to get a job, they're prepared.
It is. You know, Michael Julian, for example, you know, he's at Toledo and he's been there 3.5 years, already has his degree. By the time he leaves there, he'll have his master's as well. Puno Ford had the option this year, after his 3rd year there, to come out and enter the draft. He was projected as a 4th or 5th round pick by experts, but he had made a promise to his family and to his grandma basketball specifically, that he would get his degree before he left. And you know, our kids understanding the importance of that, you know, and him knowing that, you know, he's got to have his degree, because, you know, the NFL thing, just like anything else, can change overnight. So having his degree, that's one thing nobody can ever take from him.
Now, BJ, in the spring, you host the American Football Camp, and it's had some pretty good, well-known collegiate talent. And as a matter of fact, you had one go on to the NFL that was just here 2 years ago, whom you got the opportunity to watch playing the Pro Bowl. So tell us about that.
Yeah, it was a really awesome experience. You know, we've had several guys that have gone on from there to play in the NFL. But Ezekiel Elliott, who was at our camp 2 years ago, made the Pro Bowl. It was kind of a neat experience because we were on the field watching NFC practice, and then they kind of moved us to the sideline to watch. Well, at that point, Zeke saw me. He came over and jumped on my back and said, no, this guy's not going anywhere. He's staying out here with me. So sat on the field with him for practice for about 10 minutes. What a great kid. You know, deserves everything he's gotten in life. And it was a really great experience to see him have that opportunity to go on and shine.
And what a neat opportunity for our local young kids to come out to your camp and see potential NFL stars. So that's really awesome.
Upcoming year, next year, the American Football Camp. Can you tell us about that and maybe a hint on who's going to be here?
Yeah, we're running the All-American Football Camp from May 19th to the 21st this year. It's always the weekend before the Memorial Day weekend. It was really hard for us to try to find a crew that could top last year's staff. You know, we had Deshaun Williams here, Mike Williams, Cam Sutton, Jalen Reeves-Maben, Alvin Kamara, Raekwon McMillan. But this year, we've already gotten agreements to come from Lamar Jackson, who will be our first Heisman winner, Hunter Renfrow from Clemson, along with Christian Wilkins from Clemson, J.T. Barrett from Ohio State, Sony Michel from Georgia, Nick Chubb from Georgia, Puna Ford's coming back, and we're still working on adding more guys as well, Jake Bentley from South Carolina. So we really work hard to bring in the best players in the country, and I think we're able to do that for the youth of Beaufort County every year.
BJ, thank you for joining us today and sharing all that. Good luck to you as you plan your camp for this year. And thank you all for watching another episode of 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.